Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and today we're going to talk about my plans for the upcoming Crucible League. So I get asked a lot what I'm going to do, what I'm going to play, not just what build, but also what league I'm going to play. And I think I've fairly much decided that I'm going to play hardcore solo self-found, and I'll at least start doing that and then see how it feels. Because, I could always go to hardcore trade. I know Steelmage is doing a really cool league with his community that he said other people can join if they want to, which is basically chat self-found or chat found. That is going to be on softcore, but the thing is, I don't know if I'm able to enjoy softcore enough. Not in a, I don't know. I'm honestly a little just scared because it is very important to me that I really have fun and enjoy myself, because I feel like my content, it's very different. Like if I'm like miserable in a league and like, right before I quit, Calandra being an example, I think it's very noticeable in the content. So I'm trying to like min-max my fun. So I will start out in hardcore SSF. If I feel like the league is very undoable with, maybe trading would be really cool, then I can go hardcore trade. And if I feel really big FOMO on the chat SF, I could always try that later, or maybe bounce between the two. So for League, yeah, I will be doing Crucible, Hardcore Solo Self-Found. I have been asked a little bit about if I'm going to do the Ruthless race. A big problem there is that I don't have enough time before Diablo 4 comes out. I think it would take me somewhere between 700 and 1,000 hours played to get enough gear, and I'm assuming they would probably die, and that could end up taking the time as well. So I just don't think that I'm fast enough to do it in less hours than that. We've seen some videos of what kind of gear people have after like 400 hours of playtime.
Dear God, that's the weapon he's farmed all this time for? That's the weapon. That's the weapon. What? Dude, the gear and Ruthless... Look at this ring. Dude, the Ruthless gear is so rough. You basically need... Jesus Christ. Dude, the Ruthless gear is just so bad.
And that's not the type of gear that I'm necessarily comfortable doing those Uber bosses with no movement skill. So I could see myself needing as much as 800, maybe more hours to do it. And it's just not something I'm really willing to commit to. But good luck to those that do. Another thing people are curious about is what am I league starting? And I gotta say, there are definitely some different temptations this time. That's mostly because bows are looking a little bit more attractive, which is interesting because they still aren't in a way to me. Because Pathfinder is just, Pathfinder Toxic Brain is just going to be such a nice starter. And that's really important to me. I really set the tone for myself with my league starter. And people always ask me like, oh, why are you always starting something you know is strong? Wouldn't you have more fun if you were playing something that may be strong or something you know is bad and you try to make that work? I'm like, no, I really know after 25,000 hours of play, I just really know what I enjoy in the game and how I have fun. And having like a lot of power and strength it's just, I love it because it sets me up so hard for the rest of the league. Like I love doing Ubers. I hate having a weak build, dying, getting back up, dying, and things like that. Like I think I died 3 times last league, and one of those times were to Uber. So it's, I gotta say, I really like just having a lot of power and not dying. I love playing hardcore because of the close calls and stuff like that. That's definitely my favorite part. So yeah, definitely going for something powerful. It is a little bit weird too, this league, that while I said there are a few things that are exciting, it's also a little stale. Because the things that are exciting are very risky, like Lightning Arrow. It relies so hard on gear compared to Caustic, compared to Toxic, compared to Explosive Arrow. So it's a little weird like that. But I do think the end game is going to be so different than Sanctum, and Sanctum was so different than the league before. There was obviously some overlap, but having a few comfort picks for people aren't the end of the world outside of racing scenarios. And like we saw in the Gauntlet, we ended up banning things like that anyway. I've also had a lot of people ask me if I'm going to play BPL this league. The answer to that I can already say now is no. And I actually love BPL. I always have a blast. But because it's in softcore, it ends up being the most hardcore PoE event where there's no limit on how hard we can push. And this is more of a me problem, but I end up feeling so pressured to doing 20 to 30 hour sessions because if I'm racing and I'm really tired, I'm not letting anyone down but myself. But there's such like a, you don't want to let your friends down, you don't want to let your team down, and you want to do really well. So I think for me, I'm out. Felt very Shark Tank there. But no, for me, it's just like I really enjoy one on, one off, so that I take a 3-month break from BPL between each one. I think that's what I enjoy the most, and then I'll come back for pretty much every other one. I did actually do back-to-back BPLs, and I definitely feel like it's very tiring. I push so hard. BPL, if you don't know, it's like a scavenger event, and it's organized by really, really cool people. It started out by a content creator called Badger. And yeah, it's a scavenger hunt, 400 people on each team, and they grab like literally everything from casuals who play a few hours today to no-lifers that will go for 20, 30-hour sessions like Karn and shit, and Steel and me. So very, very cool combination. It's a great way of connecting with the community and people you've never met before. So very, very fun. Definitely recommend it. Is there going to be a gauntlet this league? Probably not. It's going to be really hard for us to pull off a gauntlet because we usually do it when Diablo 4 is coming out, and starting it earlier than that would probably be a little hard. So unlikely that there will be a gauntlet. We will keep you updated on Twitter. But yeah. And what about goals and stuff during this league? So I failed my goal last league. I really wanted to try to farm Soul Ascension, my own unique. And I did start doing Uber Elder, and I got so confident with how easy Uber Elder was because I was borderline immortal to Uber Elder. And I started farming Uber Eater because that was a cool drop too. And I think I killed it somewhere between 10 and 20 times. Killed it quite a lot. And then I underestimated the AoE of the big slam one time, and I got clipped by it, and I one-shot my character. And it's sad because I tried later on standard, and like 5 out of 6 or 5 out of 7 times I could tank that hit. So that was sad. And I am crit immune on that character. So it wasn't just a high crit either, it was just a high roll. So I did fail my goal last league. Neither me nor Steel were able to farm our own uniques. And that is obviously a lot more softcore friendly. But I would probably like to continue trying that in hardcore SSF this league. So I think that's a great goal until I can do it. Either way, it should be a super exciting year for me in general. There's so much happening. We have this Crucible League. We have a month and a half, 2 months to play it before Diablo 4 comes out. Then a lot of people are going to try out Diablo 4. I think it's kind of perfect timing that they at least get 2 months out of it. And then, yeah, we're going D4 into Exile Con, into new PoE League, and maybe a PoE 2 beta is what I'm hoping for. So, thank you guys for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.